the actor who destroyed his career. Call Me By Your Name, Gossip Girl, the man from U.N.C.L.E. and more. Do you remember Armie Hammer? A rising star who went from a Golden Globe nominee to a man accused of abuse and sexual assault. But what happened to him? How did one of Hollywood's hottest actors absolutely destroy and ruin his career? Reports of Hammer's alleged behavior first surfaced in January 2021, when an Instagram account with a username House of Effie anonymously shared allegations against the Call Me By Your Name actor. It was the beginning of an end. The post included horrifying texts and messages allegedly sent by Hammer and were centered around cannibalism and BDSM. In those DMs, Hammer allegedly discussed a fetish for cannibalism, drinking blood, as well as extremely violent and dominating sex. However, as time went on, more and more women began to speak up on social media and accused the former actor of terrible crimes. All of these women used to have a relationship with Hammer, and their accusations were much more serious than simply having a kink. In fact, they were accusing him of manipulation and psychological abuse. It only gets worse. At first, the Hammer rumors looked like they were simply embarrassing kink stories and nothing more. But then, they got darker and darker. The first wave of reaction to the leaks, primed in part by years of lots of people knowing that Armie Hammer posts his weird sex stuff on Maine, which can be best summarized as LOL cannibalism. It was a scandalized and tittering response to learning about an embarrassing celebrity kink. But it gradually became clear that women weren't speaking out about Hammer to kink shame him. And what they were describing did not sound at all like a fully consensual and harmless exploration of kink with a willing partner. In fact, it was starting to sound like one person exploring violent fetishes with multiple other people who were not into the idea or consenting, and going ahead and doing so anyway, despite their misgivings. Do you think Armie is actually dangerous? Or is it all just kink stuff? Asked an onlooker. Kink stuff doesn't include murder fantasies or dangerous knife games, like a knife between your legs during sex, or cannibalistic fantasies, replied one of Hammer's accusers in a now-deleted Instagram post. The gossip site Deux Mois posted unconfirmed claims that Hammer had a group chat with friends where he would share videos of his encounters with his partners without their consent, and that he routinely pushed boundaries, disregarded safe words, and made threats. Women who said they'd been in sexual relationships with Hammer posted similar accounts anonymously to social media, alleging that Hammer pushed them to participate in sexual activities that made them uncomfortable, and that they were still recovering emotionally from the trauma. Some of Hammer's exes were willing to speak on the record. Courtney Vucekovich told Page 6 that she considered her relationship with Hammer emotionally abusive. "He sucks out all the goodness you have left," she said. "That's what he did to me. I gave and gave and gave until it hurt." Vucekovich said that Hammer would text her up to 100 times per day when they were together, and that he did some things with me that I wasn't comfortable with. But the scandal was just beginning. On January 15th, tabloids published what appeared to be Armie Hammer's secret Instagram account. There, Hammer apparently posted videos of women in lingerie, bondage memes, and what appeared to be a boast about cheating on the drug test he was required to take before seeing his children after his divorce from Chambers. "All negative. Bitches," he allegedly wrote in the drug test post. "My body is a finely tuned toxicant processing unit. To be fair, I had THC and benzos in my piss, but who doesn't? Divorce is so fun. Not as fun as drugs. But what is?" On January 28th, Hammer announced that he was exiting the forthcoming Paramount Plus series The Offer, about the making of The Godfather, in which he had been set to star. On February 5th, The Hollywood Reporter found that Hammer had been dropped by his agency, WME, and by his publicist. One of the most serious allegations against Hammer were by Effie, who accused him of rape. She shared in a press conference that she first connected with Hammer on Facebook in 2016, and they were involved intermittently for 4 years. "I fell in love with him instantly," Effie said in a prepared statement. "Looking back, it is now clear to me he was employing manipulation tactics in order to exert control over me until I started to lose myself. He would often test my devotion to him, slyly removing and crossing my boundaries as he became increasingly more violent. He abused me, mentally, emotionally, and sexually. Eventually, Effie said, the violence became rape. On April 24, 2017, Armie Hammer violently raped me for over 4 hours in Los Angeles, she told reporters, during which he repeatedly slapped my head against a wall, bruising my face. He also committed other acts of violence against me, to which I did not consent. Effie said that in addition to the alleged rape, Hammer beat her feet with a crop, so they would hurt for the next week with every step she took. She says she tried to get away, but he wouldn't let me. I thought that he was going to kill me, she said. Armie Hammer's career was officially in free fall. One of the hottest Hollywood stars was now canceled. When Death on the Nile, his final film, came out in July, Hammer was all but erased from the publicity push. Now he and his family's scandal are at the center of their own true crime streaming show, House of Hammer, which came out in 2022. Here's what you need to know to understand Armie Hammer's story, the downfall of one of Hollywood's hottest stars. Surprisingly enough, Armie Hammer's family background is extremely messed up, including lots of money, lots of dysfunction, and lots of sexual sadism. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? Armand, or Armie Hammer, actually comes from a background of immense privilege and dysfunction. He is an heir to the Occidental petroleum fortune. In fact, in 2009, he was photographed in Vanity Fair, spread of heirs and heiresses that included Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. Crazy, right? The Hammer fortune is actually linked to some pretty messed up family patterns. The very first Armand Hammer, who in fact made the family fortune, was closely linked to the Soviet Russia leader, Lenin. At one point, Lenin actually encouraged Stalin to give Hammer support in order for him to develop a path to the American business world. Moreover, Armand laundered money, made an illegal contribution to Richard Nixon's re-election campaign. However, the most problematic here is not his money, but relationship with women. The elder Armand's relationship with women and children was reportedly very brutal and unpleasant. Miller chronicles how Armand pushed his lover of over 10 years to legally change her name, wear wigs, glasses, and makeup to change her appearance, drive a car with a homing device and use a tapped phone, and submit to sexual demands she found extremely humiliating. Armand assured her he would take care of her after he died. Instead, he left her out of his will. Hammer's family background explains a lot about his disgusting behavior. Armie Hammer was considered to be one of the hottest actors in Hollywood. His career was rising exponentially, and fans were going crazy. However, this terrifying scandal has completely ruined his name, with no opportunity to climb back up. One day you're the favorite, next day you fall from grace. What do you think about Armie Hammer? Comment, like, and subscribe for more stories.